Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Let me make sure the stream that I have open in the other window is muted. Okay. Make sure I get nothing else open. All right. I think we're all set. I think the music's working. I think the mic's working. I think the iPad is working. I think we're all in order. How is everyone doing this fine Saturday evening? I have a very fun thing to share with everyone as soon as I see a couple people pop into the chat. I'm hoping the person who drew this, or who colored this rather, is in the chat. Let's see. You decided to make your own hybrids, but you didn't want to keep them, but you still wanted to give them some love. I was wondering if you draw them instead so they can live on. Depends. What are the hybrids? Because this is kind of going to be I think I put in the title just sketch requests hybrids. It'll be kind of just a chill, whatever ideas pop up in the stream that I find fun kind of stream. Because I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I'm just getting over a cold. So it might not be a super long stream. But I wanted to get a stream in this week because the next 2 weekends I'm going to be visiting family and going to a wedding and all that kind of stuff. So I will be busy. So I wanted to get one more stream in this weekend. Hello, Mountain Dreams, the person I was looking for. There you are. So Mountain Dreams took it upon themselves to color in beloved Salami here. Look at this, everyone. I need to make sure on OBS this is taking up the full screen. Look at how cute! Look at how cute the coloring is. I love the rainbow edges. I love the soft rainbow in the hair. I love the shininess and translucency of Salami. They look amazing. Salami looks fantastic. Thank you so much for sending this to me. It was really cute. Made my day when I saw it in my email inbox. And if anybody else would like to color Salami, I've uploaded the black and white Salami art to Twitter and I think Instagram. I'm not sure, but definitely Twitter. But isn't that cute? Let me see. You have 11 hybrids in total. Make a list. Pick which ones we'll do today. Yeah, we can do 1 or 2 of those today. Let me think. How should we do this? Do you have a favorite of the hybrids that you'd like to see? Let's do like the top favorite, and then I'll take like a poll from the chat of like what everybody wants to see, and I'll do a couple loosey goosey things today. It's not gonna be super structured. I'm not feeling 100, but I wanted to give what I got to the stream before I'm off for 2 weeks. Let's see if there's I'm gonna leave Salami up here while we come to a consensus on what the hybrid should be. Those are the vibes. Perfectly assessed vibes. Very friendly. Very squishy. I love it. And if anybody else has any animal hybrid or just like generic like video game characters or whatever, I'll do like probably 3 or 4 sketch requests in total between the hybrids and things tonight. Probably do like an hour and a half too. Well, I usually do 2 hours, but we'll see how my nose. I just don't want to be sniffling and coughing into the mic and all that kind of nonsense. Nobody wants to hear that. Let's see. Owl and Cow, Spotty Moohoot, Mrs. Moohoot, Elephant and Moose, Timmy Trunk, Tim for short, Blue Tongue Lizard and Mouse, Tilla Squeak, Garden Snail and Deer, Gary Trail, that's cute, Frog and Emu, Hoppy Scufford, Dolphin and Kookaburra, Crazy Splashy, real name is Splash, I like that. Kookaburra is a fun one. That's interesting. Cheetah and Chicken, Flashy Feathers, Spider and Whale, Salami looks great. Yeah, Salami does look great. Salami's never looked better. Salami is thriving. Seahorse plus Bearded Dragon, Sir Spikes, Bob Spikes. Shark plus Duck, Honk Quackery. Toad plus Toucan, Slimy Beak. Toad and Toucan's fun, too. That's interesting. I was most drawn to Kookaburra. Dolphin and Kookaburra, that's a really tough combination, I think. I'm curious how I would approach that versus how you would approach that or any other artist. I'm curious about that. So let me write down my favorites. We'll pull up Salami again at the end of the stream to show some love. We gotta pay our respects to Salami. All right, let me make the background color not haunting. This is scary on my face. This is not. We'll do like a gray like this. And let's see. Toad Toucan sounds cool. Let's do, for sure, I want to try the Kookaburra. Let me write it down. Kookaburra plus dolphin. And the name. Dolphin. Crazy splashy. Splash. Crazy splashy. Splash. I like that one. Let's make the list so we don't forget. Yeah. Seahorse bearded dragon. I like that one too. Let's start with this one. I'm gonna take a screenshot of all the ideas you sent and put it on my desktop for later, because that's easier than copying and pasting everything. The snail deer one. Is that your favorite? Okay. Snail deer. Where was that on the list? Let's see. Garden snail plus deer. Garden snail plus deer equals Gary Trail. We're gonna try a snail character. Snail deer. Okay, since that's the one you're most excited about, let's try that. Let me look up garden snails. I know on the top of my head what a snail looks like, but it's always good to look at ref. And I think I know what a deer looks like. Grew up in Michigan, have seen thousands of them, but always good to look up reference photos. Alright. That's a good photo of a garden snail right there. You can see the underside of him and everything. It's all squishy looking. Beautiful ref. And then let me look up a deer. Let's do like a buck with the antlers. Or maybe a button buck would be cute. The baby. Yeah, I like that. Button buck. Just a little baby that still has little spots on him, because I think the spots would be cute on the snail shell. I think that would be fun. And he can have little horns that stick out, kind of like the little antenna on the snail. I think that would be good. You can have him look like Salami. Similar pose and vibe. Here, we'll use Salami as ref too. Let me pull up. We'll even take the colored one. Just so people can see it all the stream. Or at least this part of the stream. Alright. So we have Salami as a ref down here to give the idea of how cute and the vibe. I like the beady eyes. We're going to keep that, I think. And let me just wing it. Let me open this picture of a garden snail up. Just get an idea for the chunkiness of the shell. So roughly this chunky. There's the opening for where the head will come out. And I like the wiggliness of the bottom on Salami, so I might just use that as well. A little bit of a stubby snail tail coming out the back. Let's make this a little bigger. We'll figure out this neck shape, because this shape needs to be altered. And I apologize if my voice isn't what it usually is. I struggled through. I had a singing lesson earlier. I was able to get through it just fine, but it was a lot. We'll do Gary first. No problem. We'll have that snail shell swirl go all the way to the middle. The antlers are made of the same slime and it's smooth. Yeah, that's why I thought it would be cool for the button buck, because they, like, when they're babies, they just have the little antlers, and I feel like that looks more similar to the weird little eye stalks, or like the little horns, or I don't know what the parts of the snail face are called, but whatever. These little things that stick out look kind of like the little button buck horns to me. So I think that would be good. The trick is making it look kind of jellyish and transparent, which would come with color, but we're not going to be doing color today, I don't think. Oh, that's why. The opacity was at 0. It's like, why is that eraser not erasering? Alright. Now let me look up this button buck. And they're so cute when they have the little spots on them. Let me pull up just the photo with the spots. It's kind of a random scattering of spots. Maybe I'll do one color pass of like a brown, just to really get across the idea that it's a baby deer. maybe no small antenna. We'll see what looks better. We'll mess around with stuff. It's half the fun of keeping it loosey-goosey. And of course, I know, you all know I love asking the chat, you like A or B better. And usually you guys are, well, I think every time I've asked, you guys have picked the better looking thing, so, and made the design better. I need a better picture of the head. Oh, that's a cute picture of a little guy eating a leaf. And he's got the little tiny horns too. Let me just sketch really quickly what I see. Semi-realistically quickly, and then I'll cartoon it and make it cute, but I'm just trying to figure out how long the nose is and all this kind of stuff. He's chewing on a hunk of something. Grass or leaves or something. Nose. And then it's like darker fur here, white on the sides, big eyes, which we're gonna make beady and whatnot, but I like that they have big, like cow eyes, kind of wet looking. I know this looks kind of scary right now, but I'm learning things. This is how I learn how to draw anything, is I just draw it really badly from a photo first, and then I learn a couple things, and then apply it to the sketch I do. And then he's got little horns like this, which is where I'm thinking the sliminess can come in. I can make them a little longer and slimier like a snail. His ears are pretty big. I don't know if they're as big as I drew this one over here. I think this needs to be a little smaller. And rotate it a little bit. Something like that. His ears are pretty big, though. And like, I'm trying to think of how to work the snail into it. So like these could be kind of sluggy and snaily. These horns. And the neck is a little graceful thing. Alright, that's a really bad drawing, but it does help me out a little bit figure out what shape I want everything to be. A little bit. It's not a great drawing of a deer. Don't come for me. And he's got like an eye mask too. I think that's important for the cuteness. Okay. Now how do we make this actually cute? This is the question. The snout shorter? That's a great idea. There's enough snail. Yeah, this is like 90% snail, 10% deer now. So, ooh, we could add like a tail too. That might be a little too much. I don't know. We'll figure out something. Let's figure out this neck shape because we want it to be kind of elegant. Deer, when I think deer, I think very graceful and elegant. And they can be clumsy as well, but generally I think they move very elegantly. So we don't want it too chunky, but maybe a little chunky because it is a baby and it is cute. So this head needs to be bigger, I can already tell. A little bit bigger. Let's try that. And there's like a chunk of white fur on the neck. Let's make the snout shorter. And maybe he should also be chewing a leaf or something. And this is going to be a really, really rough drawing while I figure these things out. I'm just going to have him with a mouth full of stuff for the time being. We can always change that, but I think it's kind of cute. Let's see. Don't do a bad salami design. Yeah, tiny head is good. Big head is good as well. Yeah, we don't want it too realistic. That was the mistake made with first salami. Like, how can I make this even cuter? Okay. Beadier eyes. We'll leave it solid black for now, almost like a teddy bear or something. Okay, it's an okay start. And this is the first time I've drawn all day, guys. I didn't do any warm-up drawing. I didn't work on any client stuff this morning. So, yeah, nose is too big. I agree. But if we make it too small, will it still look like a deer? That's the tough thing, is still making it look like a deer. Maybe a little bit like that. this is my warm-up drawing for the day. So we don't talk about first salami. This might be a first salami and then the second one's better, you know? Old Gary might need 2 passes to look decent too. You gotta just try stuff. You gotta warm up and try stuff and go, that wasn't it. And then do it again. It's no big deal. We're gonna do some slimy little snail horns for now. And then we'll do the big cute deer ears to kind of balance it out and add more deer. And I want to keep it simple like salami's ears. Let's see, they have a rounded tip on them. So we'll lean into that and make them kind of round and squishy. Make him look like Gary from SpongeBob again. Yeah, that did help, didn't it? Maybe if I squish this down into the body a little bit. And then when I outline it, I'm going to really simplify it. So I think all this mess, all these messy lines will sort themselves out and not look as crazy. Maybe should it sploot out like this? No. Though this was an issue with first salami where the body just kind of melded in like that. So maybe I copy how salami has it, where it's just like head, neck, and then like this. I don't know if that's any better or not, though. I need to look up simple cartoon deer, maybe. Some fluffiness. Yeah, he needs like a little tuft of fluff on his head, because salami's got that fluff. So we'll add a tuft of fluff. We'll add a couple fluffy bits to the ears. Already looking a little bit cuter. Smaller sides of the head. I'm trying to think of all the tricks that make things cuter. Usually big eyes are the thing, but I think beady eyes here. Happy smile. This has potential to be very cute. If it's a flop, we can always come back and retry it. Because salami needed 2 tries to be perfect. Salami needed a little work, right? Alright, this is something, okay? It's not perfect, but it needs to be simpler. I think it's because I have all these sketchy lines on the nose that's throwing me off. How could I simplify a deer nose? Let me look up baby deer cartoon. Sometimes I'll look up, like, I don't know, animal name clip art or like deer clip art and just see like how other people have approached simplifying. And sometimes people have really good ideas. Ooh, I kind of like, that's kind of a pig nose almost, but it's cute. So this one I'm looking at, I kind of like this like weird chubby head shape they have going on. It's like a Casper the Friendly Ghost head. And then they have a nose that looks almost like a pig nose going on, which I don't want to copy that, but I like how it's short and stout. And they have the big eye mask here, and then they have some like big cartoon eyes here, but I would change that to like beady eyes. The nose is not working because it looks too much like a pig, but I like how close it is to the head. That's kind of cute. So maybe a cuter head shape, perhaps. Venison escargot. Yeah, he should be simpler. You're absolutely right. This is all the like working out what to simplify and how to make it look like a deer. This is all my brain just going. This is not the final form, I promise. Sometimes these things, you know what I've learned though, is like making simple cute cartoons is way harder than making like a portrait, like a pet portrait, a semi-realistic pet portrait, because you can rely on the photo reference and just copy what you see. But coming up with a way to make things cute and simple and still look like the thing is really, really, really hard, in my opinion. I think that's harder than doing realism. Let me look up how other people are doing deer noses too. How to simplify the deer nose. That's kind of cute. The struggle is also finding images that are not AI now, unfortunately. Because a lot of those are very generic looking and not really helpful. Yeah, I'll make all of everything you're looking at will be far less detailed. I do like how, let me see how they simplify the nose shape. Almost like how I do otter noses, where it's like a diamond, but they've simplified it to kind of like this round, fat little hexagon with like the nostrils over here. But I don't even think it needs nostrils. That's too much detail. Can I make it even simpler? Can I make it even simpler? Maybe a smaller nose. Okay, that one's not bad. Yeah, see, this is way too much detail. We're gonna move this. This is my thinking. That's the thinking, Gary. That's not... We'll put on a new layer. Let me use all the things I'm looking at and the things I'm thinking about to rethink this. We'll start with the deer part, because the snail part I think is pretty easy. It's the deer part that I'm getting stuck on. So let's start with the deer head. Figure out how we can make this cuter. We'll do some squishy little cheeks. Think round, like salami. Embrace the roundness of this creature. Round. A cute little snoot that's very close to the head instead of very long and far away. And let me see. I could do super, super simple little deer nose where it's just like a squishy little triangle, even. Because, I mean, salami's wasn't super accurate or detailed. It's very simple. So something very simplified like this. And then the eye mask shape around the eyes is like this. So it gives the impression of having giant cartoon eyes, but they're going to be little beady ones instead to match salami. It looks like a fox right now, I think, but we're going to fix this. This is already a much cuter head shape than the previous. The trick is making it look like a deer. So a bit smaller nose, a little lower. Don't want to get stuck in too much detail though. This will be a little bit darker. Gray here. Even adding that on the smile is too much detail. I'm looking at salami. Salami is just that, you know, simple. So we'll do a similar simple mouth here. Beady eyes. Let's add little highlights. Salami with antlers, I guess. Salami is an icon. Salami, Gary, and Jellybean to be siblings. They're all siblings. And then how do we do, I guess, a big, chunky, fluffy tuft of hair to kind of match the roundness of Salami's without copying. So it's got a little different personality to it. And then we'll do the little sluggy kind of horns. They won't have eyes in them. They're just kind of vaguely snail looking. Kind of looks like a chipmunk head. I think the ears are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here for making it look like a deer. So I think it is important to do a somewhat realistic or at least accurate ear shape. Oh, we're going to flip this real quick because I wonder if it looks weird flipped and that's what's throwing me off. Yeah, the eyes like are not in the right place. This eye needs to be a little bit in like that. I think that helps. We're gonna make this like this right now. I think the eye highlights were in a wrong spot too, just look kind of staring into the distance. Well, I guess Salami, well, Salami's looking at you. I think that helps with the cuteness too, is like looking at the viewer. Let's try that. I don't want a carbon copy of Salami, but Salami's got a lot of good things going on. Just bring that a little closer in. Okay, that's still staring in the distance, but not like a million miles away, you know? Squishy, squishy, and then bring this in a little bit because this looks wrong to me. Maybe we'll only really get through like 2 designs today. We'll see. I just want this to be right, you know? Look more like antlers. Well, if he's a buck, he would just have little horns like this, but we could try like a little antler, you know? We'll try one antler on one side and then like a little antler on the other. So like something like this. maybe one coming out here. We'll make one a big antler and one like the little one, just to see what we like better, because both could work. Let's add the deer ears. I think that's going to be the thing that makes this look like a deer and not like a fox or a chipmunk or anything else. And then some squishy tufts inside the ear. Similar on this side. Nice rounded end on the ear. Some tufts. That looks... It's not great. I don't think it's as beautiful as salami, but it's much, much, much better than the first attempt. Fawns are spotted. Yeah, we're going to do the button buck spots on the snail shell. Let's see. Like a baby horn. Oh, I see what you mean. So instead of the snail one, just do the actual little horn. Because then it's like a 50-50 split of exactly 50% snail, 50% deer. And we'll put a little tuft of, there's like a little tuft of white fluff, it looks like, under the chin. Or we could do it fully like cartoony, where it's like all white and then it kind of tapers into this. It looks too much like a beard. I'm thinking too much about this. Simple. 1, 2, 3. Simple. Not too many tufts of fluff. Still looks a little beardy, but that's okay. We'll put a little chin line there. And think about the shape. I want the same amount of wiggles and bumps as salami since they're family. And they should look somewhat similar, but not the same. That familial resemblance. And then where to put the snail, because I don't want it, or the shell. I don't want it to bump into the ear if I can avoid it, so we might lift this ear up a little bit. It can overlap it. That's fine, but design-wise, I'd like for it to not run into the ear. Then we'll redo that swirl shape. Like so. He's not salami, but he's pretty cute. You know what? Nobody can touch salami. Maybe that's okay. Maybe we have to live with the fact that salami is the peak of this stream, and it's never gonna be better than salami, you know? A nice round little end. We could even put like a tail on the, see, this is sticking out too far. I could put like a white-tailed deer tail on the shell, but I think that might be overkill. Too much detail. So, chat, are we thinking the small horn, the baby horn, or the big one? I think the baby one, because it keeps it, you know, short and sweet. I feel like this is tripping me up. This needs to be like higher. It's like messing with the ratio of head to body or something. Like, it can be cuter. I can see it. I see the vision. Get rid of this line. Then it just looks like the head's like glued on. Oh, we could have the head just kind of go like this. And then it's white fur or whatever snails are made of. Goo. It's white to the front of it, like here. Like, make this simpler, like way simpler. So it doesn't look super furry, because that might be weird to combine fur with goo. I don't like that either. How do I do this? Even better. It'll be white coloring, and then it'll blend to like a deer fur color at the bottom, just like a soft gradient. That's how I'm going to tackle that. Soft. No lines. Because I think the lines are kind of throwing it. Baby matches the vibe. Baby, baby, baby. Would we want to complete a drawing? Oh, we could. Of one of these new ones I'm working on, or one of the old ones? We could do that too. I could do my own coloring of salami. It'd be fun. You could make the shell spotted baby deer. Yeah, I did that on the little sketch. It doesn't look great, so we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it fewer spots, because that'll kind of match salami's spots as well. But we'll just do the coloring differently. I'll do a rough color pass on this one, because I think it'll really help sell it as being a deer. you know? I think it needs a little something. But see these white spots? But we don't want so many of them. Not as few as salami, but not as many as an actual button buck. So something like a couple here and a couple there. Just to have a little variety of placement. I think that's enough, because I don't... Maybe one here. I like the randomness of it. I don't like it to look too even. Maybe move one over a little bit. Have kind of a natural look to it. So it's not perfectly lined up anywhere. Just moving around. I think that's an okay number of spots. Let's see. Need someone to do fan art of Gary, Salami, and Jelly Bean together. Aw. How's your niece now? She's about to turn 5. I know, isn't that crazy? She's great. I'm going to see her very soon. Because I'm going to be in my home state. Seeing family and friends. Going to be in town for a wedding and all that, so. And she loves the animal hybrids as much as you guys do. So. And she's a cutie pie. What else was I gonna do? You know what I really liked about this coloring is I like the edge, the rainbow edge. I might put that in. Just, like, maybe not rainbow. It could be rainbow, because then, you know, then it matches the whole familial thing. But just another spot for a different color, so it's not all one note and just deer fur color, you know? Just Auntie Alyssa. What was the nickname she had for me for a minute when she couldn't say my name? Oh, she called me Aha. Aunt Aha. When she couldn't pronounce my name, but she's too good at pronouncing words and spelling and reading, and she's smarter than most people I've met. So she just calls me Alyssa. I'm going to 2 weddings this summer. I'm going to this one that I'm going to in a couple weeks. Or I guess very soon, not even 2 weeks. And then I have another one to go to in July. That one will be a lot of fun for me because I am vegan. The friend who is getting married in July is a vegan. So I'm going to be able to actually eat and not just like eat celery sticks. You know? It'll be really nice for me. So I'm really excited about that one. This one I'm excited about because I'm in the bridal party and I'm kind of the reason the people who are getting married met. I'm like the reason they got together. So I feel like I have a place of honor there. Wissa and Aha. She's smarter than me. Yeah. Yeah, I liked Aha. I thought that was cute. I was hoping that one would stick, but she's too smart for that, so. She's like, oh, you have a real name? I'm just gonna call you that. She's too smart. Do you like Mariah Carey still? Boy, do I. I have been eating well. The re-release or the like anniversary edition of the Emancipation of Mimi been very exciting. She's finally officially releasing like songs that like have been on YouTube playlists of unreleased hits and stuff. I Feel It is one of them, so that's fun to finally get an official release of that. Very exciting. You want Gary to have a different name to fit Salami and Jelly Bean's name? What do we all think would be a cute name for a deer snail hybrid that matches the vibe of Salami and Jelly Bean? A cute food name. It has to be cute because venison isn't cute because we're not eating this little guy. He's too cute to eat. But yeah, very, very excited about the vegan wedding I'm going to. The wedding I'm going to soon here is not vegan, but my friend's like, what do you want to eat? I'll go pick up something from town. I'm like, if you have like a bread I can eat, like it's really not that serious. I can eat before. It's your wedding. It's not my wedding. You know, I'll deal with it. It is nice she thought of me though. I went to a wedding a couple years ago in Texas. And there was a very informal agreement between the groom and some guy he met at a bar that this guy at the bar was totally going to cater the whole wedding and smoked ribs and barbecue and all this stuff. I guess it was just kind of an agreement made in the bar and was not serious. So very last minute, one of the bride's friends or whoever had to go pick up Chipotle catering for the wedding, which worked amazingly for me because I got to eat a full plate of food with everybody else and not like weird eating a salad while everybody's eating like ribs. So that actually worked out really well for me. So highly recommend Chipotle catering if you have a wedding full of people who eat all kinds of different things. Everybody was happy with it, and it was affordable. Basil, Vinny, basil, beans. Beans is very similar to jelly bean as well. Basil, that's cute. It's very like leafy and green. Basil or basil. How do we all say it? Type 1 for basil. Type 2 for basil. I say Basil because it reminds me of Basil of Baker Street from Great Mouse Detective. This and will all be done in a color layer I'm going to do. Same with the spots, I think, the button buck spots. So let's do a quick... This is not going to be the right color. It'll be close enough. I'll change it. But I want to do a quick color pass. And it'll look way different when I change the background from gray to white as well, so bear with me. Temporary color placement. You say like 2, basil. Tomato, tomato, you know? Everybody says things a little bit different. Oops. And we can also come up with another name too if this one's not hitting anymore. Oh, how do I deal with this? I'm going to fade this into white, this internal part of the ear. It's going to gradient and turn into white, and then I'm going to put the white on a second layer. I think that's how I'm going to handle that. And same with the bottom of the body fading at the bottom. I'm going to fade this color into cream or white color. I think that'll look okay. Do I like Sanrio or Sanex? I don't know what Sanex is, but I like Sanrio characters. They're cute. One is the British way. Oh, that's why they say it in Great Mouse Detective, Basil of Baker Street. Because it's in jolly old England. Basil. It's like how they say herb instead of herb. Basil or basil, the deer snail hybrid, salami the slug llama hybrid, and jellybean the jellyfish. I like that. Cute food names and a very cute family. I'll copy and paste all of them and put them all on the same canvas together. I'll do a picture, like a different drawing of all of them together another time, but that'll suffice for this evening, I think. The family portrait. And I'll do the same on this ear where it'll be just that fading into that. And same with right here. I think the bottom I'm going to make like a bluish color because I'm thinking that would be the color of the hooves, but I don't want to do gray because that's boring. So maybe like a bluish gray. And feel free to yell at me and tell me if that's a bad idea, but we're going to pull this up to here because I'm going to have this fade up to white. And then do white on a layer underneath. And the shell I want to be also fur color, but maybe a tinge darker just so it looks different. Alright, it's Alpha Lock. Let's do white and this nice soft brush. And kind of gradient this. So it'll be nice bright white at the top. And then kind of wiggle it. So you get that nice wiggle. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. And then do the same here. White with a nice little gradient. White. Nice and soft and faded. And then we'll do white on the inside of the ears. I was going to do cream or off-white, but I kind of like the bright white. Maybe I should do cream. Maybe on the ends of the ears where it's like in shadow. I think that might be cute. That can be the shadow color. And this still looks very much like a fox, this eye thing. I think making it cream will help, maybe. We'll find out. Because right now the face is giving fox. I think it'll help if I add a little bit of... We'll do dark brown instead of gray because it's a little softer. The eyes are different shapes too. Hold on. All these things that come out when you do the lines, the outlines, instead of just the sketch. All your mistakes come to light. So I'll fix those eyes in a moment. Do I want it like soft like this? Though I'm looking at other deer pictures for the muzzle, and it's kind of like it's white around the nose too. Maybe I do... How can we do this? It's like white fully all the way around the snout. That's what I'm seeing. Alright, that already looks less foxy. And now the eyes look really off because one's higher and lower than the other one. Okay. We'll fix that. Dry ink. Let's see. Maybe the shell is white. Yeah, the spots will have to be white. Purple, green, and orange. Ooh, purple's a really good idea for the bottom. The antlers are giving goat. Yeah, they are kind of goaty, aren't they? Let me look at button buck. Yeah, I could make them a shade lighter, I suppose. I think what'll help is separating them from the body a little bit, and then if I make them like a grayish, or if I lean into the purple as like a gray stand-in, that works with the orange. Though, button buck, it's like the horns are like a light beige version of the color, so, of their fur. Like something like that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Then, if we're doing purple as our gray stand-in, I think we could take a bluish purple like that. I was gonna fix the eyes, I'll do that next, but let me try this, because I'm looking at this photo of this deer now where it's like gray in the middle of the snout above the nose, but it also kind of comes down to where the actual nose is, like here, you know? Whoa, why is it doing that? Oh, this was my edited brush from a couple weeks ago. That's why. Because I feel like coming down to the nose like that looks more foxy than deer. It looks more deerish to do that, I think. And we don't want too much detail again, because then you end up with Salami 1.0. We need the simplicity of Salami 2. I don't know how I feel about the purple there. Maybe it's too much. Maybe... Ooh, Alpha Lock, hello. Maybe bring it down a tad. Do I like Sabrina Carpenter? Yeah! I like her music. She's cute and fun. She also has a very good perfume. I like that vanilla perfume she does. Sweet Tooth. Yeah, the sketch was better with that, yeah. Eyes. Eyes. I like the size and shape of this one, so I kind of want to keep that without directly copying and pasting. Just more of an oval shape. Like so. Oh, that feels too small now. You know what? I am going to be a little cheater. A wee cheat. There we go. Right there. That was basically the same size and shape. I was pretty close. I don't know what words you're referring to, but I'll try not to repeat whatever I said. Do you like Sanrio? Yes. I like, what's the dog's name? Pom Pom Purin? I hope I said that right. That's my fave. That's my fave guy. Let's do this color again. I'm gonna again edit the saturation, hue, whatever color balance after I do a rough pass, and I'll make the background white just to see what the real colors look like. Because right now this is all blending into this and looking kind of crazy, and we don't want that. I do like the idea of using purple for gray, so maybe we'll add a hint of purple here, and we'll do the spots on a new layer on top, and then add that in on the bottom here as well. Purple and orange is better than gray and orange for sure. Oh, Salami 1.0 you were speaking of. Shall not say Salami 1.0. What else could I do here? For right now, we're going to leave that alone. I'll come back to the colors of all that because it needs shading or something. We're going to do some spots like this. Yeah, one more over here. Can't hurt. This might just be the basil stream. Basil. I would assume this is a North American white-tailed deer, so we'll say basil. I don't think this is a European deer. I don't like that other spot. Okay, that's fine. Leave it the way it was. And alpha lock. Let's do a shading pass just to help separate this shell from the body. Oh, it's the color changing brush. Fun, but not what we want. Just a quick something or other to help break up that shape so it's not right up against the same color, which looked a little odd to me. Smooth this out. Okay, that looks a little bit better than it did 2 seconds ago. You write Basil's name after we're done with it. Yes, of course I will. I'll write it in much nicer writing than I did there. I'll do like a little cursive thing. And then what else did I want to do? Get rid of these little edges here. Oh, fix the eyes so that they have a spot for color, and because I like this little touch of color there. That was a really smart thing to do. So I'm going to do the same here. Shamelessly copying. Why is this not drawing? There we go. And then, excuse me, do like a brown eye that's not quite the same color as the fur. Maybe a little richer. Just something kind of cute and pretty. Oh, we could do green too. That might be pretty. I think all deer eyes are like dark brown, but it's a cartoon character. We can do whatever color we want. Deer don't have purple on them either, but in my world they do. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the brown. Maybe I'll make it green, but like a forest green. I just like having this little bit of color in the eyes. Kind of similar to how they do it on Kirby's design. Has like a little blue chunk of color there. Let's alpha lock that. Let's try green on the one eye. Let's do like a nice deep bright green. Like that. Ooh, green. Yeah. Green, orange, and purple is a good combo. It brings another color in. I dig that. And then maybe even highlight it with a little bit of a lighter green at the bottom. Just for funsies. It's cute. I might make it even a little bit softer. Oops. Like... not like that. A little bit smaller brush. Like so. There we go. I think that's alright. What else can I add to this? I'd like to add a little bit of shine to the snail shell. Not quite as shiny as salami because that's a much more gooey kind of texture. Just want a little bit of a highlight. Soft and diffuse. Maybe like this color? Just where the light would touch the edge of the shell. Not super sharp highlight. Not super white and crispy. Just something. Something like that. And I wanted to try a little bit of cream. Add a little warmth to the shadows and things. A little beigey, creamy something or other. That's cute. The face still gives me fox a little bit. How can I fix this? There's a few different approaches. People either do basically what I did, and it's just one big mask shape for the face. Or they do add a little bit of like gray above the muzzle. Let me look how Bambi looks. The deer. The cartoon deer of all deer. I don't want it to get too complicated either. So Bambi just has the eye mask separate from the fur, so I'm going to do a new layer so I don't mess anything up. It might be too complicated, which is why I'm doing it on a new layer, because I don't plan on keeping it, but if I cut the eye mask off to where it's just like here, and then the snout is its own little thing here with the mouth, and then the rest of this, ooh, that does look more deer-like if I do that. Wait a minute, what do we all think? This is not how it's gonna look final, but what do we think about doing something like that to the face? And then it can maybe softly fade into white for the chest area and then fade back into the fur color at the bottom, or just fade to white all the way to the bottom where the purple is. That might work. Feel like you're getting goat. Does this help at all a little bit if I do this? Because I think this is giving a little bit more deer, the way that like Bambi does it. Oh, and also another thing Bambi does, which I think is smart, the hair on top is darker. So I think adding a little bit of that helps. What do we think? I think that does make it look less like a fox. So like after, before, this looks like a fox to me. You like the old version? What do we think? I'm gonna flip between the two. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. I'll just keep doing this for a sec. Do I have my drink near me? No, I don't. So I'm just doing this, talking to myself. A goat fused with a raven. You like the hair fluff. Okay, so we can keep the colored hair fluff and then leave the mask off of it. Just leave the face as is and then just add a colored hair fluff. Something about making the snout separate from the eyes I do think works. And is more deer-like. I'm just staring at a picture of Bambi. Before, in your opinion? Okay. We can do before and then the colored hair tuft. I think that's a good in-between. So let's do that. Whoops. There we go. That's the right layer. Let's add the darkness to the hair tuft. I think that does help a bit. Gives a little Bambi touch. What do we think? I think he's looking pretty cute. We could also do, I think what might help also, is something Salami has, is that little line on the top of the snout to help define it. It gives more of a family resemblance again. Round it out though, so it's not sharp and pointy. You don't want that. Delicate. Soft. Graceful. These are the things that make up the, what's the last name? Because salami is just salami, jellybean's just jellybean. The ear's the same color as the hair tuft. Ooh, like the fur part? Yeah. The inside should be white, I think, because it's nice and creamy and blends, but I see what you mean about like blend this in. Yeah, just add a little something. Add a little more dimension. Another color. I dig that. Okay, that's looking a little more deery. No last name. They're all first name only. Alright, what do we think of Basil? Ooh, I wanted to mess with the colors. So, that actually doesn't look too bad with the white background. Usually it's a little scary. Let me hide all these other things. We'll keep Salami here. Hide all these other things. Where's the cursed deer I did first? There we go. Get rid of that. Hide that. We're going to touch up some of these little color areas here. Because with the white background comes all kinds of noise that I didn't fill in. And some noise is okay, but it reaches a point where it just looks messy. That's okay. These little spots can stay. That's fine. The snail shell. Fill that in. And then I like to do... We'll do like a little bounce to light. I'm thinking if there's green grass underneath, you know? So we'll like tint it green, the same value. So like something like this on the underside. Just to add the implication that there's grass. And I'll tone this down too. It shouldn't be this bright, but just as if the light reflecting off the grass is hitting the bottom of the shell there. It adds a little something, you know? We can get rid of the text that says garden snail plus deer. And then we can also get rid of the other text because I'm going to rewrite the name once we've all decided this looks okay. Let me real quick do a color adjustment layer just to, I want to see what it looks like if I warm everything up a little bit. Like a nice butter yellow. Oh, that looks kind of scary right now. Just try some stuff out. Pastelify. Ooh, color. That just kind of desaturates it. The normal is kind of cute, but then it tints the background. It's not giving what I wanted it to give. That's okay. Not every adjustment layer is going to be a winner. Soft light might do something. I don't think we need it. It's fine. No, that sucked away all the purple. We don't want that then. It was better before. Because the purple's already so warm and like brown looking anyway. At least on the OBS screen. On my iPad it's much more vibrant, the purple. On OBS I'm seeing it looks a little brown. So let's up the intensity of the purple a little bit at some parts just to add a little something like a highlight or just something. There we go. If Basil had a last name, it would be Trail, and Salami and Jellybean would have the same last name due to them being siblings. Aw. Sell them as a sticker bundle. I could if I did like finished up art of them. Like, cause this is fairly finished for a stream, but I'd want to clean it up and all that, but not a bad idea. Dry ink. So do we like Basil? How do we feel about Basil? I'm pretty happy with Basil. Definitely better than Salami 1.0. Let me erase. Where is this mark? It's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, it's right here. Thank you. It didn't have to turn off and on 80 layers. I'm gonna fix this. There we go. Alright. How do we've been working on Basil for the last... I know! That's why I joked earlier. I'm like, all we're gonna do is Basil. But you know what? I think it was worth it. We're gonna call Basil done for right now. We'll do a little cursive on the letters. With a little heart to match. Oh, Salami didn't get cursive. We want it to match the vibe of Salami. So big beautiful B. And then a heart. I want it to be cute. Cute! There's Salami. And we'll bring Jellyfish into this canvas, Jellybean into this canvas just to see how they all work together. How they all fit together. I'm just copying the layer without the color, because that still needs to be colored another time. Just to put them all on the same canvas, just to see what's up. Aw, aren't they cute together? That's sweet. If anything happens to Basil, I will destroy everything. Thank you. Well worth the time. I agree. What a cute little happy family we have here. Aren't they sweet? All right. Man. We might just do one more thought out hybrid. If it takes another hour like Basil, this might be how the stream goes. We just need some salt. No, no salt, no salt, no salt. We're not harming, no harm will come to these beautiful creatures. It's illegal. Alright. So what should be the thing I work on for the last hour of the stream? What's a good hybrid? There was that Kookaburra dolphin one that was compelling to me. But if anybody else has any other suggestions, because I'll check off slowly every week. Maybe I'll do one of the ones from Leafy Kitties, and then to make sure everybody gets a say. If somebody wants to throw out one animal and somebody throws out another, or whatever. No salt. For being mean to slugs. Putting salt on slugs. It's very mean. A fourth one. Another slug. Another snail. Is that what we need? Let me just start drawing a Kookaburra and see where this takes me. Because I didn't want to do a second one from the same list to give everybody a chance, but now I just kind of want to draw a Kookaburra. So I'm just going to do that for a minute while we all conspire on what the next thing is. Take a picture from your list. I took a screenshot of the list from the chat earlier. So I have it right here. Owl and cow, elephant and moose, blue-tongued lizard and mouse, garden snail and deer, frog and emu, dolphin and kookaburra, cheetah and chicken, spider and whale. So I have all those. A spotted skunk. Ooh, yeah. You know what? We will do a spotted skunk. What do we want to combine with a spotted skunk? Because that has been on the list for several weeks now, and I'd like to do that. And they're really cute. Kookaburra and spotted skunk. That's a great combo. Okay, let's think. This one will take an hour because I gotta think about this. I don't think I've ever drawn either of these animals before. Maybe a kookaburra for a client or something, but spotted skunk is unique. Oh, I like this fan art somebody did of a spotted skunk. That's cute. Let's open that up real quick. Yeah, we'll do kookaburra and spotted skunk. I think that's cute. How to combine them? I'm not really sure. This is going to take some brain power, so this will probably take the rest of the stream. Oh, it looks like he's got a little heart on his forehead with that spot. That's cute. I'm going to steal that. This one's doing a handstand with his whole tail fanned out. Spotted skunk is the base, and then kookaburra stuff on top. Yeah, I think that might be the move also. Kookaburras are very short and let me just give my first impression. Kookaburra plus spotted skunk. And just some quick, like those really bad deer drawings I did. Just to get the idea of the general shape and stoutness of these things. Like kookaburra has this big, wide, meaty head. Kind of a long, chunky beak. And then this short, stout little body. They're dense looking. This is the silhouette I'm getting from looking at this photo, this side view. And then some tail feathers out here. But very wide. Wide and short. Like that. And they have cool little spots on their feathers and things like that. But he's a wide lad. So we gotta do something wide. They have these tufts of feathers here. And he's usually laughing, so beak open, right? Spotted skunk with wings is all I got. Now let me look at the spotted skunk. They are also chubby, but in a different way. They have a different chunk distribution. They're like bottom heavy. The kookaburra is just all dense, head to toe. Spotted skunk, if I'm doing just a quick... Well, the handstand pictures are so cute. So I'm just going to quickly draw this like handstand going on. Where he's got his little feeties out like this, which is really cute. And then the tail all fanned out like so. I like the handstand, but I don't know if that's a feasible pose. Or if they're waddling around, it's like this big kind of like a pear shape. And they've got stripes. And a cute little head. A little dot in the forehead, like a heart. Cute little nose. Very wide on the butt. So they're wide brothers. They both have wideness going on with them. How do we combine these beautiful creatures? Let's think. Let me move all this stuff to the side here as we sit and ponder how we're going to tackle this. Let's see. Maybe they're handstanding and their wings are open. Spotted skunks are the perfect being. They're really cute. The handstands. I mean, that's iconic. We kind of have to do the handstand, right? I love this photo of this one, the first one that comes up when I type spotted skunk. It's not a very high resolution photo, but we'll work with it. Is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Google does this thing where they just don't want you to have the access to the high resolution image, which is very annoying. There we go. Yeah, like Flower from Bambi. They have he's got like a cute little like weasel face. So cute. Okay, let's start with the handstand base. I don't know where we're gonna put Kookaburra wings. He can have wings, wings as well as legs, like a griffin or something. Aw, Rose is cute. Rose is cute. Okay, let's get started on the head. We'll leave it noseless for now because it might turn into a kookaburra beak, but I don't know if that's going to look crazy or not. Maybe it just has like the same hairstyle, you know, this like mullet thing. We're going to leave it weird and creepy and noseless for right now while I figure it out. But I want to get this handstand pose down with short little stumpy feeties. So it's very cute. And I do want to give it a wider butt than the photo ref, because also cute, and maybe shorter and stouter like a kookaburra, so it's not so long and elegant, but he's maybe a little more, or she, Rose, is a little more dense and top or bottom heavy. So maybe a little shorter and squatter like a kookaburra. Still gonna have that big fabulous fanned out tail. Let me move this to the middle of the canvas so I can see a little bit better. And move this other stuff over here. Because it is useful stuff, but we don't want it in the way. Let's see. Rosy Posy. Oh, that's cute. I like that. We'll do a simplified fanned out tail. I don't want to get too caught in the details of it, but that's kind of the gist of how these tails look. Just fluffy and wide. And I like this short, stumpy little foot sticking out here. With one little bean like this. And then like two beans like this in the middle. And then the last bean like that. And we'll keep it simple. We don't want too much realistic detail on it, but I want it enough to where you can tell it's like a skunk foot. We'll put a little line for where the pad would be, like that. Ooh, we gotta make it smaller than that. It's a tiny little foot. A very dense, chunky body. So something like this. Rose's tail look like a kookaburra's tail. We could try that too. Because we do need to bring Kookaburra in. And I think the beak might be creepy, but let's see, because the nose shape is kind of like this anyway, basically. So if we make this a beak, is that creepy? I don't know. We could make it look more like a griffin or something. Maybe it'll look up like a hippogriff or something. Something four-legged with wings. The beaks are very straight. They're not curved or anything like a griffin. The back legs like bird claws and the front legs look like skunk paws. Or vice versa, yeah. Either way. Because I'm kind of in love with the little paw, the little footy sticking out. But it's up to the audience if you'd rather see bird claws in the back. Because I could also do, let's see, kookaburra feet. Kookaburra feet. They just have like really long pointy toes. I could simplify that. So like if we have, let me just change one to a bird claw and you can see what I'm talking about. If I did just like one bird foot like this, I wouldn't make just one foot, but it's like a option A, option B kind of deal. Because either could work if we're doing like a half and half. More personality in the face, yeah, for sure. Like a griffin and put bird legs on the front. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like the hippogriff is like do the bird up front. I'm trying to look at what else of kookaburra I can bring in. So I think the move, because I think the beak might be like kind of crazy. Kookaburra laughing. Show me how they look when they got their beaks all open and crazy. Oh, that's a cute picture. Yeah, the bird claw up front I think kind of works. I have so many tabs open right now. Yeah, maybe she prefers to walk like this. That's cute. I like that. And it's not like a defense mechanism thing. She just thinks it's fun to walk like this. I like that. I think that's really cute. And then I'll spread the other toe out a little bit just so we don't have identical matching feet. I don't remember what the trick is called, or what it's... I don't remember the term for this, but it's something about... It's kind of like how when you do your eyebrows, people say they're cousins, not twins. You don't want two identical feet or hands or whatever, unless that's the point of the art you're making, is the symmetry of it. But if you want something to look natural and you're drawing, you know, hands or feet or something that you don't necessarily want to draw two of because you want them to be the same shape or size or whatever so they match, and you copy and paste, just change something about the second one so it's a little bit different, because it makes it look a lot more natural if they're not identical. Cousins, not twins. Because perfect symmetry you don't really see too much. See, she's an acrobat. Griffin on a horse, I think it... Yeah, I just googled hippogriff and it gave me a thing with bird legs on the front. It's all bird legs though, isn't it? I don't remember. I should know these things. I've seen the Harry Potter movie with hippogriff. Oh yeah, they have hooves on the back. Whatever. It's a hybrid of something. Give it a hat. Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to figure out if, because this face, there's nothing going on here. Let me figure out what's going on with the face. Let me quickly sketch this picture of a kookaburra I'm looking at now, where it's got its beak open. Eating a frog or something. I don't know what it's eating, but it's got its beak open. It's got like this cool little detail on its beak right here. That's how the open mouth laugh kind of openness would look. And there's like a tuft of fluff here. And then the kind of hair, for lack of a better word, here. The eye is about here. And there's like a chunk of different colored feathers. like right here. So we could do that kind of face on it, or we could do a skunk face. I'm trying to think, what would be the right thing to do? We gotta add the spots because it is a spotted skunk. This one will definitely just be a black and white. The amount of thinking required in this one, we're not gonna have time to color it. An itty bitty top hat. Yeah, maybe. Make her fancy. She could have one of those elegant little hats with the little netting on it or whatever. The little flower. I don't know what they're called. I want to say they're called like amusers or something silly like that. I think it's the eyes. Yeah, the eyes are just blank right now. We could do beady eyes. We could do big old eyes with personality. We could do more of a Disney kind of thing. We could go kind of any way with this. So they don't all have to be beady-eyed and simple like salami. They can be all kinds of things. A monocle, fancy. Skunk ears. Yes, yes. That's a good call. Do we think the big mouth, or should we go for... Because I feel like if it's a skunk face, it's going to be too much skunk. But maybe if we combine... So, like the hair, the feathers, this bit with... Okay, so there's a skunk ear as well on top of all this fluff and feathers. Do some feathers and then also a skunk snout, and then have it like wide open mouth like a laughing kookaburra. But I feel like it doesn't give kookaburra unless there's a beak, so we might have to do the beak. You like the personality eyes, the round eye with the shine in it? Yeah, we'll do that. 2 votes for that one, so we'll do maybe looking up like happy. Okay, zoom out. Do we think we want a skunk nose? Because I don't know how else to make it look kookaburra. We'll put wings on. But I think without the beak, it's not going to read as kookaburra. The ear helped a lot, yeah. Too much skunk. We're going to add more skunk in with the spots, too. Don't you worry. Which I might do that now, actually. Let me see what I can do about these shapes here. So I like this kind of wiggly shape that this is doing in the reference, and we'll soften that up with some fluff, but just get the shapes down. And this shape is kind of like so. And we don't have to follow it exactly because no 2 skunks are going to have the same spots. Let's do one here. Those are where the white stripes are going to go. And I think we can do more on the tail as well. Let me just look up. I have to close like 50 different tabs. I loved this like heart-shaped spot that was on the forehead of this other one I saw, so we're going to do that for sure. Cute little heart-shaped spot. And then around the ear it was a little bit of white as well on this other ruff that I thought was cute. The tail will have like black down at the base here. That's a really messy sketch, but something like that. Okay. The tail more kookaburra-like. Rosy posy. Wearing skunks all the time. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna hide all that other stuff real quick. I want to try 2 different things. We're gonna try kookaburra head, skunk tail, and then we're gonna try skunk face, kookaburra tail. And then see what is a better thing to do. Because I like the skunk tail because it's so iconic, and it's like the most skunky part of the skunk, I think, is the tail. But at the same time, we don't have very much kookaburra going on, and we could add wings too. But first, let me add this tail in, and then we'll put some wings on both, because I think both could benefit from having wings on it. close this. Close this. Oh my gosh, I have so many tabs open. Okay. That's a really good ref of Kookaburra. We're gonna keep that open. Okay. So Kookaburra tail. Something like this. And we're gonna simplify, but they're kind of rounded feathers. There's like a group of them, like so. And they have, it's kind of like pheasant feathers where they have the little black lines like so. I'm just gonna really simply sketch this in because we don't even know if we're gonna keep this, but something like this. And then some other feathers down here. So that's like Kookaburra tail on the skunk head, and then we're gonna... And then we'll put feathers, or we'll put wings on both and see. And I'm also gonna give this Kookaburra head a cute eye so it matches the other one. I might even just take the eye from the skunk. Put it on top, and then we'll erase this eye. Okay. Delete all this stuff. And then a new layer on top real quick. Let me just sketch in what I want to do with the wings. I love this ref I have open right now. The wing is kind of like this. It's like fanned out this way. And I really like that. I think it looks really cool. It's got like a big chunk of feathers right here. That kind of fan out like so. Let's see, can I hide this just so you can see the wing a little better? It's really rough, but it gives an idea. And then it's got these pretty little white tips of the feathers in here. It looks very shiny. And then there's also a white array of feathers right here, or like this shape appears here, and then the other wing can kind of be tucked and hidden behind the body. And then I'll read chat in a second. I'm cooking real quick. Okay, this one's cut off, but like I'd fix that if we traced it. But merge down, make a group so I can move said group over in the middle a bit. All right. Chat, what do we think? Let's see. We can't have 80% skunk and 20%. I agree. We gotta have a good mix. 90% skunk. I used to always want one for a pet. Oh yeah, I remember that. That guy who had one as a pet. You collect skunk plushies. Aww. Well, I hope you get to see one in a zoo or animal sanctuary or something. That was and is me with otters. Somewhere in a box somewhere, there's a box full of otter plushies that I had collected over the years. Been gifted mainly, but you like the second one? You like skunk face better? You think this is a good mix of Kookaburra? Alright, A or B? Cast your votes, and I'll do a cleaned up drawing of whatever one more people like. There's already 2 votes, skunk face. I don't know how many people are in chat actually, so that might be enough votes. If it's just like 3 people here. Oh, it says 5 people. One more vote. I think it's the skunk face, but I like the chat interaction, so. I'm looking at more details of the Kookaburra to see what else I could do. Probably the coloring. B all the way, baby. It's all about that skunk. Alright, B it is. B it is. Alright, let's duplicate this group just in case I mess anything up. And lower the opacity of everything so I can see what I'm doing. New layer, dry ink. BBB. Alright, that is the consensus. It's unanimous. Let's get this little skunky footy drawn in. And this is extra funny if this back leg is a little bit shorter than the front legs, because that means the handstand is actually more comfortable for just general locomotion. Handstand and flying and hopping around on the little... I imagine this like hopping around on the front claws the way that like birds hop. That's what I'm picturing in my head. Then I'm not an expert at drawing feathers, but I'm gonna do my best here. They're all kind of squarish round, these ones in the back. I will understand wings one day, but I think this is adequate for a sketch. And these ones are a little bit more pointy rounded. Just like that. I will study the blade. I will study bird wings and get more comfortable with them. But for now, this'll do. I think it's similar to drawing human hair, where you want to break it down into big shapes first and then you get all the nitty-gritty details in. I think that always helps. That helps with everything, is breaking it down into big shapes. And then, oh, I want this one to stick out a little bit more, like curve out like that, just for funsies. Then we'll erase. So her full name is Rosie Posey, yes. And I think she's a busy enough design and beautiful enough on her own. She doesn't need necessarily a hat and accessories, as suggested previously. But we will use that suggestion for another hybrid or sketch moving forward. We will provide some accessories and outfits. But I think there's just so much going on with like the feathers and everything. It's just like overkill to put clothes on her. Unless everybody's begging for me to add a hat, then I will. But I'm vetoing it as the dictator of the Alyssa Aaron stream. And then these, add some cute little tufts of white. A flower on her head might be cute, because that's small, and like just do a little, like a rosebud, like a little one. Because who's saying how big this creature is too? This creature could be so large that like this is like a full size big rose, you know, something like that. Make Rosie Posey extra large and in charge, like hippogriff size. I think that's how you draw a rose, basically. I'll do a sketch on a new layer before I mess it up. Little flower would be cute. Yeah, let me look up real quick. Simple, cartoon, rose. Yeah, that'll work. I was right with the swirly stuff in the middle. We don't want it too hyper realistic anyway. And this is just a sketch. We'll do a swirly, and it's like a petal here, petal here. It was almost better the first way I drew it, but that's okay. Yeah, it was like better the way I drew it before. I'm getting too lost in the sauce. Yeah, this was better. This like rough one I did. Cut and paste. Make sure that's on a new layer, so I'll trace it and make it look nice with everything else. Okay. Quick little swirl. Petal here. We'll have it do that little overlap thing. Okay, that looks like a rose from a distance. I'm getting too caught up in the nitty-gritty detail. Looks like a rose. Let's see. You're picturing small. Maybe she's very small and she found the world's smallest rose. That's a possibility. I mean, if she's a magical creature, there could be magical little teeny tiny roses as well. Who's to say? She could be giant, she could be tiny. All possibilities are acceptable. Yeah, go look up spotted skunks. They're really cute. They do handstands. They have big fluffy tails. What more could you want from an animal, really? They're about the size of a big squirrel. Aww. That's a cute way to describe the size of an animal. About the size of a big squirrel. I'm measuring all animals in terms of how many squirrels they are now. A horse is about 500 squirrels. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably way more squirrels than that. Clydesdale's like 1,000 squirrels. Chunky little bird feeties. Like so. I'll put little claws for cuteness sake. We'll make them round so they're not scary claws. Here we go. This other wing tucked behind here. They're about the size of a big squirrel. A striped skunk is like a cat size. A spotted is like a squirrel size. Aw, they're just mini. They're just itty bitty. We'll make this... Actually, we'll make this white and we'll continue it like a chunk of feathers. Okay, that works. It's like a weird feather fur hybrid texture going on. Feathers softly fading into fur and vice versa. Where one begins and one ends, who knows? Actually, it might be better, you know, no, we're gonna leave the lines in for now. If I do a final color version, I'll omit the lines, but we're keeping it simple. I might do a rough grayscale pass, though, because we'll have a little bit of time. And my voice is getting hoarse, I don't know if you can tell, but I have enough juice in me to finish this, to see it through. I would have liked to do a stream with another 4 hybrids or 2 sketch requests, 2 hybrids, but I like the time we spent on these ones. I think they're better for it. I think they're stronger. They had a little bit more TLC and thought put into the look. Okay, let me work this out in my head. So I want this wing to be black. So I want maybe another stripe, but move it up so it's like just a pop of white back here, because this is all white. This will be white, this will be white. Then we get, ooh, even better, I'll put it over here so it's out of the way of the wing entirely, because I want all this to be black in my head. I think that'll look cooler with the white highlights on the wings and whatnot. I think that works. Big chunker. In the next 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks I'm going to be gone. I won't be streaming. I'll be out of town for a wedding. But when I return, we'll do all kinds of hybrids. We'll just do hybrid streams for like a couple weeks. I think that'll be fun. The skunky mutt was like the size of 2 cats. Or 1 really fat cat. Yeah, big old baby. Excuse me. This is what I was dreading when I was... It's like, I don't want to be coughing and sniffling on stream. I've held it together very well. I'm very proud of myself. I was sniffling for like the whole hour before this stream. I was like, get it together. This is the last one you're going to be able to do for a while. Make it count. That was me at my singing lesson also. Like, because for the singing lessons, I pay for the month. And I wasn't about to have only 1 lesson. Or, you know, I didn't have one last week because that's why I didn't stream. I was coughing and sneezing. I was like, I'm not going to pay for a whole month's worth of lessons and only go to 0 of them. I'd rather go to 1, you know? But I'm getting virtual lessons sent to me for the next couple weeks, so that'll make up for it. Gotta tough it up. So between the singing and the yapping, my throat is getting shot. I didn't do any other speaking the rest of today because I knew I was going to be speaking a lot on stream and also singing. So I had just enough juice to make it through all this. I'm very happy with. Yeah, I'll do the Otterbet hybrids after I get back. Yeah. Remind me. Good job. Thank you. I'm a warrior. Nobody's ever struggled with anything more than me. No, but seriously, I am glad I haven't been hacking up along on stream. That's just obnoxious. I would have cut the stream so short if I was like sniffling and like I can't inflict that on people. That's terrible. Nobody wants to watch that. In my head, my voice sounds very gravelly and stuffy nosed. Nobody said anything, so I assume I sound fine. My voice teacher said I sounded fine, but in my head I sound like crazy. Alright, I think that works for the lines. Let's hide that, let's hide that, and that. Ooh, some lines are much thicker on the top than they are on the bottom. It looks a little weird. How do we fix this? We're gonna thin out some of these lines up here, and then we'll thicken some of the ones down below, and they'll meet in the middle. I think because I was zoomed in and doing detail down below more than on these feathers, where I was just kind of winging it, haha. And I also want to bring the shape down a little bit. Like, they're not totally even. It's like, this can get refined in the coloring phase, because I kind of want to color this guy like properly. He's pretty cute. Or she, Rosie Posey. Let me write that before I forget. Rosie Posey. And she's very cute. I'll put little hearts by her name too. Rosie Posey. So we have thick lines on the outside. So we'll just copy that there. We'll extend that all the way around so it doesn't look mismatched and strange. And looks like all one harmonious drawing. I know it looks good. Good. It is so funny how we all sound different in our heads. Ooh, this is interesting because this line and the line of the tongue are the same. We don't want that. We don't want that. We'll bring the tongue back in the mouth a little bit. And then the wing can extend behind it. Yeah, that looks a little better. It was not pleasing to the eye to have both of those line up. Okay, this is looking a little better, zoomed out. I think thickening up this line down here, and anywhere that the weight would be, so like the undersides of things. Making it a little thicker. Like so. That works. Similarly here. Here, I think that works. Alright, I was just seeing if there's any other chats I missed. Thin out these lines a little bit more on the tippy top. And then I think it'll be good for a quick grayscale pass. Just to help make that white stuff, the white lines and eyes and everything pop up. Okay, that's looking a lot better. With the lines evened out a bit. We can delete that. Let's do a nice dark gray. Might even make it darker. No, I think this will work actually. Want to be Rosie Posey? Yeah, do you want the IE or the Y spelling? Both are cute. It's up to you guys. I can change it to IE. Rosie Posey. I wanted to put this little line here too. There we go. It's whatever the chat would prefer for the spelling. Both work. Well, with the eyes, you can put hearts on the eyes, which is very cute. So I kind of like that. You want the IE? Yeah, I think that's a better call because then I can dot both the eyes with hearts, and then I still get 2 hearts, which I think is very appropriate for a little cutie like her. I'll change that at the very end. That'll be the last thing I do. Let's fix that. All right, let me just do the outlines and then fill in. I want all of the feathers to be, well, I guess kookaburras are brown, not black, but whatever. That would come with actual coloring. For this quick grayscale pass, we're just going to treat all non-white areas as gray, black, whatever. Fill all this in. This. Oh, and the head also would be black as well. And yes, all this mess I will clean up as I go. I don't know why I torture myself by using the same dry ink brush for all this stuff, but whatever. I like maintaining a texture, even if it comes with a little extra TLC to clean up a bit. That's alright. And we're gonna erase these little white bits that are in here for a little highlight. Maybe add a little shininess to some of these wings. Not all of them, but just a couple, just to make it look like the light's hitting them or something. Just kind of cute. Brown and black and white will look nice together when I do get it colored. Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be a cool color combo. And then all of this as well. And that'll make the rose really pop too against the dark feather fur. And the tongue will help define the head too. So it's another pop of color against the dark. Or it will be when it's colored. Yeah, I think next stream in a couple weeks when I'm back, we'll do Otterbat hybrid stuff. We'll do maybe a final color design of one of the hybrids, whatever everybody would like to see finished and cleaned up and made nice and purty. We can do Rosie, we can do whatever. Okay, I think that's pretty cute. We'll do a high rim lighting on the edge here just to add a little something. Right here too. A little highlight on the butt. It looks pretty cute. I'll lighten it up a little bit just to make it more visible. Where is OBS? Right here. Okay, let's put this center stage. We're going to change the name, or the spelling rather. Get rid of this. Yoink. New layer. Rosie Posey. And make the eyes dotted with hearts. And then we're going to move the whole group over to the middle so we can get a better look at her. Put her nice front and center on the screen. Beautiful. What do we all think of Rosie Posey? Salami, yeah, Salami does deserve final art treatment. That's the unofficial, maybe official stream mascot now is Salami. I'll have to think of what colors to do because I really like the rainbow stuff, but I'd like to do something different just to not be a copycat. So I'll have to think. Yeah, we'll recap. So here is Rosie Posey, the spotted skunk kookaburra hybrid. Silly queen. Love her, chef's kiss. Thank you. I really like her too. I think she came out really cute. Then we have Basil, who is related to our best friend Salami. This coloring, by the way, I'll zoom in. Thank you, Mountain Dreams, for the cute adorable, lovely, beautiful, fantastic coloring of Salami and Jelly Bean up here. Well, you didn't color Jelly Bean, but I will. And look at this face. Jelly Bean, Salami, and Basil make up this adorable food slug snail family. So not too much to recap today, but I think the love that's been poured into Basil and Rosie Posey has made up for the quantity of hybrids that could have been accomplished today. I think the quality is there because I really like both of them. Basil's so stinking cute. Thank you. I think so too. And thank you, Leafy Kitty, for the great ideas. Kookaburra was a really, really, really fun one to research and dig into. Again, I'll show Rosie Posey so we get a good look at everybody. I really like how this one came out too. The handstand pose is iconic. Yeah, Mountain Dream Slade. Slay. Look how cute. Oh my gosh. Now I need to think up colors that are different. What are my favorite colors? I love greens. I love teals. I love teal and purple. Very 90s. But also if I'm going for a little golden book kind of thing, maybe warm tones. I don't know. I'll have to think what colors I would want to do my version of Salami in. And if anybody else would like to take a stab at coloring Salami, feel free. I've uploaded Salami to Twitter. I'll put Salami up on Instagram if I haven't yet. But Salami does exist in a black and white form if anybody else would like to color, and I'd be happy to show everybody's coloring styles, coloring variations on stream. Or if you want to color or redraw or inspired by anything else you see on stream, please tag me on it or email me it. And I'd be happy to share on stream also. Slay Queen. Let's see the other hybrids. There's so many now. I'll quickly go through all the ones we've done very quickly. Let's see. Salami. Shoot. What was this one? Stickerly Lickery. The Otter Gecko hybrid. We have Juniper Jumperoo and Jerome Jumpstart. The, Kangaroo and Owl hybrids. We have Bubbles, aka Pebbles, Squeaky, Marshmallow, Shelly, Boo Boo Keys, Bumpy, pet of Madame Claus, who we'll see in a moment. The Beluga Sea Turtle hybrid. Madame Claus. The Crab, I think it was King Crab? I can't remember what the big claw crab is called. Crab and Swordfish hybrid. We have Hootie Huda Featherlings, the Owl Panda hybrid. We're going to leave Salami on the top here for this one. And what are the other ones we have? I forget. We've done so many. Whoops. Stumpy McFetchery, the Beaver Dog hybrid. Wibby Montgomery, the Iguana Mimic Octopus hybrid. Mouster Webster, the Jumping Spider and Mouse hybrid. Stuart, the Sloth Goldfish hybrid. I keep forgetting what fish he was supposed to be. Salami 1.0. We're not going to talk about Salami 1.0. And Jeffrey Bark, the Shark Bee hybrid. And then there was these ones, which kind of was the jump starting of doing these all on stream intentionally instead of the unintentional happy accident of the Otter Bat ones I'll show in a minute. Jelly Bean, Mr. Grumbles, Trish Chomper, Thudwick, and Squeak. The Rockhopper Penguin Cat, the Jellyfish Snail, Crocodile Chicken, Beaver Dog. No, was it a beaver? No, it's a Moose Dog. I'm looking right at it. And a Mouse Otter hybrid. So lots of fun with these guys. And then last but not least, where did we get the origins here? The Otter Bat hybrids. This was the start of all of this madness. The disappointment in Salami 1.0. Yeah, we need Canon Salami. Yes, we do need Canon Salami. That'll be an achievement. That'll be something to work on in the upcoming streams. So cutting it only 10 minutes short. I ran almost the regular amount of time just working on 2 hybrids today. Proud of myself for getting through it without coughing and sneezing and stuff into the mic. So please clap. Thank you all for tuning in. This was really fun. I really like the 2 hybrids that came together. They're both way, way better than Salami 1.0, who we will not mention again until we do the recap next stream and show Salami 1.0. the first hybrid at all a few months ago. I think the first one was the bat otters. That was like where it all started, I think. But I've put all the hybrids I've drawn, except for the otter bat ones, I think are uploaded to Instagram currently, except for these two that I did tonight. Jump clap. Thank you. I think all the ones I've done so far are on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I'll correct that. I'll have plenty of time while I'm in Michigan to sort that all out. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you all in a couple weeks. I'll post on Twitter and whatnot to as proof of life. I'll be here, but I won't be streaming for a couple weeks. So I will see you all in June. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your May and a great beginning of your June. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.